This is Dylan Chang with assignment 7, and this is the graphics objects. So let's start with the demo. I'm actually starting on question 4 because it already has basically all the work from questions 1, 2, and 3, so I figured it wouldn't be that big of a problem to start with question 4 and save a little bit of time. So here is the demo for the texture graphics object only. And as you can see, there's different textures on each part of the model. So here is the DX app, sets the textures to the graphics object. In the draw scene, it just has the set to context and camera matrices going in. And here is the actual graphics object here. It has just the loops to set the the array of textures correctly to each part of the model, and then it does all of the stuff that used to be in the draw scene now is in the render, and that'll be the same for all the graphics objects. But yeah, so correctly doing the loop. So now let me set up the next demo for the color light. So color light is very similar. So hopefully I got everything. No, I did not. What didn't I do? I did not... What? Oh. Okay, so here is color light. As you can see, the light is traveling around the house. All of the house is different colors, and yeah, it's working correctly. So color light is here. All it has is the ambient, diffuse, and specular inside, setting them from the loops to get all of the different pieces of the mesh correctly. Yeah, etc., etc. Sun world material is there, and render. So here's the demo. Just setting up the light, and yeah, so that's working. And now, lastly, the texture light. Probably should have separated this into different projects to make this a little quicker. Sorry. That should be everything. Hopefully. Work with me. Alright, yes. So here is the textured separated mesh with light. As you can see, everything is correctly working with the light going around. In DX app, we have here initializing, getting the textures, setting the materials, and then setting the textures separately, and setting them to the pieces of the model or the mesh. And yeah, it's setting the context and setting the camera matrices. Here in textureLight.cpp, graphic object, it's just a combination of texture and color light with both arrays for the ambient, diffuse, specular, and the array for textures. Setting them down here, over here, with loops here and here. Basically just copying the code from the previous two into one. Here we have the loop that is rendering, setting the world and material, and then setting the texture, resource, and sampler, and then rendering. And there we go. That's it. I think that covers everything. So the further work. So if we needed to allow different shaders per model, I believe what we would do is have in the graphics objects, we would have an array of what is it? Shader bases, I believe. And so we would have an array of shaders in each graphics object, and we would need to have each graphics object use that array to set everything to context and also send camera matrices. So we would basically just gut the whole draw scene and put them in the graphics objects. So to do that, we would need the shader base to have, or the shader base would need like a camera, or the graphics object would need a camera, and or keep track of the camera, and we would need to have a function that gets the camera and sets it in the graphics object so that we can send the camera matrices to the shader correctly. And I believe that would make it able to render different shaders onto each part of the mesh. So, yeah.